Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. UFC Vegas 43 is this Saturday, and while I'm not particularly excited for the main event, it leaves a lot to be desired. There's some great fights sprinkled throughout the card, and I am so excited for this co-main event. We are getting Michael Chiesa versus Sean Brady, and this video is going to be my full breakdown and prediction. So you look at the tail of the tape, Michael Chiesa is currently ranked number 6 in the UFC official rankings, while Sean Brady is currently ranked number 14. Michael Chiesa is 33, Brady is 28. Chiesa is 6'1", while Brady is 5'10". Chiesa has a 75.5-inch reach, while Brady has a 72.5-inch reach. So Michael Chiesa, the older fighter, and also has a 3-inch reach advantage. So you look at Michael Chiesa, and he's coming in this fight on a one-fight losing streak against Vicente Luque, which was back at UFC 265, August of this year. And I feel like when a lot of people look back at that fight, they just remember the Vicente Luque snatching up that Darce choke. But a lot happened before that fight. I mean, it was stopped late in the first round. And, you know, when you look back at that fight, and I rewatched it before I did my prediction for this fight, along with some Sean Brady fights, Michael Chiesa was looking very good in that fight against an elite Vicente Luque. You look at the fight, Michael Chiesa was moving very well early. He was outstriking Vicente Luque, and he timed a perfectly double leg takedown and controlled him on the ground, was looking for the rear naked choke. He made a mistake on his way up, and he got Darce choke. Vicente Luque grabbed that choke so quick. But you look at it, the fight before that, and I hate to elevate a guy off a loss. I'm always saying, you know, you can't really take a loss and try to twist it into a good thing, you know, but Michael Chiesa looked good in that fight. And, you know, Vicente Luque was the better man that night. He was quicker. He snatched up the submission. Michael Chiesa could not get out of it. He tapped out. But still, you know, you look at Michael Chiesa, and in that fight, he beats Vicente Luque. He's probably one fight away from a title shot. I mean, I think they were ranked like number 5 and number 6 at the time, somewhere around there. So if Michael Chiesa was able to defeat Vicente Luque, and he was looking so good, I mean, you watch the first 2.5 minutes of that fight, and you're like, okay, Michael Chiesa is going to win this fight. He'd actually cut Vicente Luque up on the feet, and that's surprising considering Chiesa's striking has never been world-class by any means, while Vicente Luque's striking has looked amazing at points throughout his career. So anyway, before that loss to Vicente Luque, he had a 4-fight win streak. He dominated Neil Magny in January this year, just out-grappled him, you know, looked very good doing it. Neil Magny, not, you know, the world-class opponent from welterweight, but still a quality guy and a very well-rounded guy. Before that, a dominant decision win over RDA, which I still think is a quality win. I know people say RDA, you know, obviously is going back down to lightweight. He's not a career welterweight. He's lost to a lot of the top welterweight guys, but I still consider that a good win over a former lightweight champion. Before that, Diego Sanchez, okay, nothing to say about that. Before that, Carlos Condit. Before that, he lost to Anthony Pettis via submission, and then before that, he lost to Kevin Lee via submission, which is kind of controversial. So it's funny because Chiesa is always looking for submissions, and he has 11 wins via submission, but it seems like he finds himself in submissions himself, you know, more frequently than you would think, at least, you know, not really looking back at his resume, and you see that he's been submitted, and his last 3 losses are by submission. It's just wild to me to see that. And both of these guys, and I'm going to talk about Sean Brady in a second, both of these guys, and another reason I love this matchup, they're very similar. They have very similar skill sets. So you look at Sean Brady's resume, and he's 14-0. You know, he's never lost an MMA fight, but the resume leaves a lot to be desired. His last win was against Jake Matthews back at UFC 259, March of this year. The first 2 rounds were close, and he even got dropped by Jake Matthews in that first round. He controlled him on the ground most of the first round, towards the second half of the first round, controlled him on the ground in the majority of the second, and then eventually submitted him in the third round. But again, it's Jake Matthews. Before that, he beat Christian Aguilar by submission. Again, not the greatest win. And it's just, you look up and down his resume, it's the same thing. You just do not see any real crazy quality wins. He has a win over Court McGee back in October of 2019. And that was his UFC debut, was against Court McGee. So he hasn't been in the UFC for super long. He has 4 fights in the UFC, and now he's getting a massive step up in competition against Michael Chiesa, who's ranked number 6. So, you know, when I look at this fight and I try to make my prediction, I look at both guys' skill set. And, you know, I think both guys are very similar. I already mentioned it before earlier in this video. Neither guy has elite world-class striking by any means. Both guys want to take you down. They want to use their top control you on the ground, and maybe do a little bit of ground and pound, but they really are both looking for the submission. You know, Sean Brady's looking for his guillotine while Michael Chiesa's looking for that rear naked choke. That's what he looks for in pretty much every fight. So it's really like I've thrown this fight back and forth, because I think Sean Brady's probably a little bit more technical striker. He has decent defense. He probably has a little bit more power than Michael Chiesa. Sean Brady's not a small welterweight, but Michael Chiesa is a massive welterweight. I don't even know how he used to make 155. That's just absolutely insane to me that he used to cut all the way down to lightweight. I think he's had more success at welterweight, and I think he will stick there for the rest of his career. But it's not like either guy really has a crazy size advantage. If anyone is a little bit bigger, it's probably Michael Chiesa. On the ground, I think Michael Chiesa probably has a little bit better jiu-jitsu, but that remains to be seen. I don't know. Sean Brady has looked so good on the ground, but look at the opponents that he's faced. So just based, guys know me, I always look at the opponents and, the level of competition. They may have looked great, but look at the opponents that they faced. And even in Sean Brady's case, winning and getting these stoppages, it's not like he looked spectacular against Jake Matthews. So I am going to go with Michael Chiesa by second round submission. I think Michael Chiesa is going to be using his footwork early in the rounds. I think he's going to be jabbing at Sean Brady. I think Sean Brady is going to try to, light Chiesa up with leg kicks because Sean Brady has great leg kicks. I don't know if I mentioned that already or not. But I just think Michael Chiesa is going to kind of be circling around the cage. Sean Brady's going to be chasing him. Michael Chiesa is kind of just going to be throwing his typical jab and straight rights and stuff like that, landing on Sean Brady. And I just really think Sean Brady, even if he gets Chiesa down, which I don't think he's going to be able to, I just think, Michael Chiesa's jiu-jitsu is good enough. He may get submitted by a guy like Vicente Luque, but that was just a mistake he made in real time. And, Vicente Luque just snatched up that Darce choke so quick. I just don't think Sean Brady is on that level. I just don't think he's anywhere near that level at this point in time. So I really just see Sean Brady starting to wear down. I think Michael Chiesa has the better jiu-jitsu. I think he has the better takedowns. I think Michael Chiesa will get Sean Brady down in the second round and eventually look for that rear naked choke and submit him. If he does not submit him, I see Michael Chiesa winning via decision, but I'm going Michael Chiesa, second round rear naked choke. I just think, Michael Chiesa is getting a little bit older, but I think he still could be very close to his prime. Again, he wins that fight against Vicente Luque, he's probably one win away from a title shot. So I think Michael Chiesa is still a legit elite world-class welterweight fighter. Doesn't have the best stand-up, but Sean Brady doesn't have very good stand-up either. And again, I think he's a little bit more technical, but I think Chiesa has worked. He knows his weaknesses and he works around them, and he does enough. He moves enough, throws enough jabs, and just moves around enough where he can make it work on the feet, even though his striking isn't particularly amazing. And I just think he has the better jiu-jitsu, better takedowns. I think he will be able to get Sean Brady down in that second round and eventually submit him. And, if this fight does stay on the feet, I really don't know who wins this fight. Let's say it's a stalemate, kind of similar to Colby Usman 1, where neither guy's able to get a takedown. This is going to be an ugly, ugly fight because neither guy has particularly crisp striking. Sean Brady has great leg kicks. I foresee him coming out and throwing some hard leg kicks. But overall, I just think Michael Chiesa, being the veteran, fought in the more elite competition, I just think he has the edge in this one, and I think he will pull it off in the second round. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoy these prediction videos, and thank you so much for watching.